Hello, everyone. My name is Zach, and welcome to another live stream of Sims. I've not done that in a while. My writer's workshop stream, where we're going to be working on my next book. In 1 second, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. Okay, great. So, we last left off at the final scene of part 1. I think that my goal for today is to finish part 1 and get started on part 2. I don't have this on. Okay, well, that's not what I want to do. Hold on. Reorganize this stuff because I can't have access to this scroll wheel. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. This scene is the final scene of part 1. Focuses on Hefe, one of the antagonists of this cartoon now. Let's actually look ahead and see what we have left. Imagine that we're going to have a couple quick scenes. Okay. So this is a scene that's focusing on Hefe. Four months passed in hell. 1 month has passed on different. Uh, this is actually not really accurate anymore. This is actually making a correction to my notes. Okay. So, that's corrections been made. I think that I made the decision to make the four horsemen of the apocalypse be a part of an ancient species of men that I labeled as old gods. I think I made that decision after I drafted this outline. Basically, what old gods are is they're the oldest and most powerful type of demon, and they have like a gimmick behind them. Every single member of the old god, they have a specific ability that is not tied to the power of darkness. But while they also have have control of the power of darkness, their power of darkness is actually more ancient and volatile in comparison to the power of darkness that demons control. Looking around at this thing. Okay, this shouldn't be too bad. It's a short scene. Up next, another short scene. We can actually write three. Okay, let's go and get started. What I want to talk about was I noticed that she lost a couple followers on Twitch. I'm not really that concerned with followers or subscribers or anything like that. I was never that motivated by getting followers, like getting to like millions of followers. Cause I imagine I'll get there in the end story and as my channel develops. But it's gonna hurt a little bit. I was at 108 followers a month or so ago, and I'm at 5. Meanwhile, I'm actually gaining subscribers on YouTube, so it just kind of shows you how much different the audience is with my YouTube and Twitch channels. It's kind of funny to me, to be honest. It's kind of funny to me, be honest, that I'm actually getting more success on YouTube than I was on Twitch. I actually wasn't initially gonna do YouTube at all, and I kind of did it as a last minute thing in order to try and like gain more support on Twitch. But YouTube ends up like is currently like more popular than my Twitch channel. And what I've noticed is on Twitch, most people follow me because I'm playing a specific game, and they may like watch me from time to time, and then they just stop watching me once that game is done, and eventually unfollow me. I have like hundreds, like over 100 followers on Twitch, but I see like no evidence that people coming back and seeing content. So, one of the things I've been kind of struggling with. Okay. Okay, I think I'm trying to do a lot of stuff there. Excuse me. I'm drinking soda. Had to do a lot of world building there because what I had before my notes it really didn't give much explanation. Uh, this is a run-on sentence. This is a run-on sentence. Okay, how do I shorten this? Okay, let me just read this out right now. Reportedly, the device that was used throughout the Warrens to break the minds of humanity before the leadership of Hell fell apart once allowed people to interact with memories in new, unique ways. How do I shorten that into not being a run? And do one, twos, move throughout the Warren. I can also remove this. Also remove this. Actually, no. I don't need that comma there. Poorly advice I was one to use to break the minds of humanity, allow people to interact with memory. Okay, that's actually better. That fixes it. The This also may be a run-on sentence. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, let's see. I forgot what that guy's name is. Oh, fuck. Mine is trying to blank. Uh, Atlas. That's his name. Okay, okay, so, okay, so, I'm good to Okay. Okay, I understand why I wrote it this way, but I'm gonna have to change it. Where Hefe was now what? Where Hefe was now, I didn't put a comma there, was near the city of Apocrypha. Better read if I put a comma there. Also specify that. Okay, we're good now. Okay, go ahead and check our notes. So, started. Big bathroom again. I've been having Chinese food like since we had it for dinner on Tuesday. I've been having it for lunch the past couple of days, and it's just kind of got this my stomach. Just an issues my stomach. Look at what I had written again. I know I mentioned the soldier of God earlier. Okay, yeah, here it is. Yeah, okay. I need to look up a word definition. Gate. Bring under complete control, conquer, or make submissive. Yeah, subjugate is a good word. Yeah, I need. Outbreak is starting in. Okay. The mostly dialogue. Uh, is this? Close. See. Time break is starting in 5 minutes, actually. Okay. Okay, so we'll see. Go to my outline again. 3 section finished. Mark, mark, have 1, 2, 4 sections left. Okay. Actually could be finishing this up pretty soon. Maybe within the next 5 minutes. Don't have that much left to write. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this section here. Fix this, fix a verb tense. I don't know why I default to present tense when I'm out. I'll be past tense. I remember when I first started writing this book, initially I was going to be writing it in present tense. But I was advised to write it in past tense instead, since most fiction books are written in the past tense. Because it's essentially the idea is telling a story that already happened, or that supposedly already happened. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever may have read a book in the present tense. Most books are written in past tense. Actually, going correct. Okay, so here I'm just gonna copy and paste this entire section here. And then fix our corrections. See, this is like a mix of past and present here. On actually written, so I can just copy and paste this here. Go ahead and just either make and then this is a run-on sentence. So we're here. Okay, so this scene is now done. We'll enter. Actually, gonna be down to the middle of the page. I need to go to the beginning. This is 36. Part 2. Fall of the primal. Okay, so part 1 is finished. Part 2 is beginning. Part 2 has part 2 has here 1, 2. I know it has a lot. I think it has 19. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wait, typo? I did. Should be 18. Should be 19. Should be 20. 20 scenes in part 2. Part 2 is going to be like a very unique chapter section of this story because it's kind of delving into a different genre. I am actually going to Google something real quick. So the genre that I am trying to emulate is a genre that is labeled as gothic fiction. It's a story that is a genre that is focused on suspense. Or I have a sneeze coming. Hold on. Excuse me. Gothic genre focuses on suspense, horror, high emotion, often setting in decaying, isolated locations like castles and mansions. This entire section is actually, at least in the characterization of the main kind of threat, and essentially like a possessed Outlook, is actually very inspired off of the Halloween franchise, focusing on Michael Myers. A lot of scenes in this book and how Lilith, the entity that is possessing Alec Lowe, and how she is depicted, that is kind of more so representative of how Michael Myers was presented. There's like a scene like a midway through this part where someone like calls Alec's name, and Lilith controlling Alec's body and his mind essentially cocks her head eerily, like what Michael Myers did in Halloween 2. That is essentially what I am trying to focus on. I think gothic might be wrong genre because it's not really a crumbling, decaying place. Psychological horror, supernatural, paranormal horror, slasher, body horror, sci-fi, techno, monster creature feature, gores. I have a folk horror, social horror, comedy horror, cosmic horror, uh, post-apocalyptic, found footage. I believe. Oh fuck, what is that movie called? Something. Oh fuck, what is that movie called? I know exactly of a type of movie that would be labeled as a found footage horror. I know it's gotta be. What the fuck is it called? Drive me crazy. Cloverfield. It's called Cloverfield. Oh my god, that movie was so good. I watched it when I was a kid. It was scary, but oh my god, it was good. Uh, that's pretty much like pretty much one of the few found footage things that I used to watch growing up. I think that instead of gothic horror, actually might be might actually be it's kind of funny. Might actually be more attributed to a slasher horror thing because it's essentially a murderer hunting a girl with the primal order. Yeah, yeah, I guess I'm making a slasher story. Funny. Okay. Okay, how long is the scene? Yeah, this is actually where you first see it. So, I have a scene like in this next scene I'm gonna be writing. I was just reading ahead. Lilith eerily cocked Alex's head in response, as if she was confused by half-assed man. first time that I am drawing a direct parallel to Michael Myers, who is heavily inspired. Lilith's character and portrayal is heavily inspired by. Fucking love the Halloween movie. Oh, they're such great slasher films. Finally watch up to Halloween 4, the original things. I've been watching like a new one every Halloween. I guess my ritual, so to speak. Actually, probably gonna be watching 5 and 6 next Halloween. And then maybe the following one I'll watch either the Rob Zombie movies or H2O Resurrection. And then I'll watch the other one the following Halloween and do the reboots. Okay. Okay, so I think we're about ready to get started. I'm writing this ahead. A lot of it is dialogue. Okay. Gonna get started. We are at 34,000 words written. Go back to my notes. Let's go back here. I'll sound this. I'm actually gonna copy and paste this, even though this isn't written well, but I am gonna be heavily revising it. Wait, what the? Uh, that's not what I want. Uh, said Control C, copy. Yes, you are. Change the font, you little bastard. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to need to go through this again. Make sure everything is working, is written properly. Uh, this is this past tense and here. This needs to be past tense. Okay, and then like clean things up a bit. Go back to our outline. This is now written. Actually, something manually. Let's go back here. I'm gonna copy these things. It's actually written well. It changed much. Really, I mentioned this or in the last stream. I really get invested in the writing when I'm writing my outline. I'm already in writer's mind. I not only write the where I not only write the dialogue in the proper tense and punctuation, all this kind of stuff, in a way that I would if I were writing an actual draft, but also write the exposition in the same way. That past tense. Every now and then there was a brief flash at some point of his body of the light within. That's a bit wordy. Alright, okay. Uh, that's much better. It was way too wordy. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Break is starting in 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Can I actually drop it down? Oh, actually, let's see here. out. All dialogue. This actually doesn't need to be capitalized. Actually, I don't know. Is Hydra a proper name of it is a proper noun. Is it? Yeah. Okay. So is when it's a name of the mythological serpent, is a proper noun. It's always capitalized because it's sea is the name of a sea creature. So that is correct. It should be capitalized. It's lowercase when name of a sea creature. Freshwater polyp genus. Fuck is that? Fuck is that? Okay. Literally never seen that before. It kind of looks like those plants from SpongeBob a little bit. And those things that kind of look like flowers. Can't be the only one that feels that way. It's probably what they were inspired off of, to be honest. Okay, so team is now essentially done. Through this a bit. Another short scene, but I'm actually not gonna write it now. I'm actually break. You done a lot of good work. So the next thing we're gonna be working on for next Tuesday, writing the first scene focusing on the minor antagonist Daniel, who was a character you saw in book one, but kind of serves a minor role in book one. And his story continues in this book, and it unfortunately concludes. Daniel was a character who, just 1 second. Daniel was a character who, was following the antagonist of this book that we're actually going to be focusing on now. Uh, and it wasn't really like explained why he was following them. That he was following them for his own purposes, trying to gain favor within that organization. And in this book is actually going to explain why he was so willing to follow them and how he actually viewed that organization. And he actually will tie into one of the central themes of this story, which is a theme of family. Uh, Daniel is kind of a tragic character. How his character ends is honestly kind of sad, but it's also kind of relatable. An example is someone who put their trust in the wrong person, who had their ideals manipulated by people that didn't really have their best interest at heart. I learned the lesson the hard way. It's something I feel a lot of people today kind of experience, and he can kind of see that in book one. Although most people won't really make the connection of what I was trying to convey with Daniel's character, but you will be able to see that connection here. Daniel is not the actual biblical character Daniel from the Bible. Daniel was a prophet in the Bible. Actually, need up. Daniel was a noble Hebrew youth taken captive to Babylon who served high-ranking nobles in both Babylon and Persian courts while remaining strictly faithful to God. Known for interpreting dreams and receiving apocalyptic visions, he was known for his wisdom and integrity, most famously surviving in the Lion's Den episode. I don't know what that means. Oh, I remember that story. I remember reading or learning about it in. Oh, I remember. So Daniel in my story is not the same Daniel as this book, as this the biblical Daniel. Just a coincidence. Daniel is actually a very common name for a male individual. That's gonna do it for today, though. I think looking ahead, we actually have like a few really short scenes that could take like a page and a half to complete. We have a scene with Daniel here, a scene with Lilith here, and a longer scene focusing on God. Georgie, longer scene of Lilith. And so ooh, we have some good stuff coming up. Really good stuff. So I think I do want to take a break now. I think that we could, since we have like two really short up, I may actually do the two short things and the longer pod on next Tuesday. I'm trying to write more than one scene a stream, which is why I kind of want to wrap things up after writing two. Actually, did make a lot of progress. Or the relationship between there's gonna be a lot of discourse between Lilith and Alec Lowe, who's often kind of speaking with her mind, and in some sections, uh, you actually can see through Alec's eyes, from the perspective of Alec Lowe, but uh, uh, it won't be like his body that he is controlling him. Lilith that's controlling his body. So it's just kind of like a really interesting thing. Ahead, this scene, like, ooh, with that scene. Oh my god, that scene is gonna be so much fun to write. I need to figure out though. Oh god, I have another sneeze coming. I need to figure out though how I'm gonna be labeling the sections that are focusing on Lilith and focusing on Lowe. The easiest solution would be to label each perspective as Lilith and Alec Lowe. But I'm thinking that instead I want to do what was once Alec Lowe and Alec Lowe. How that will go though. It's kind of like a really tricky thing. If I do it right, it could be a very powerful story. Okay, I think I'm ready to kind of wrap things up right now. I'm kind of there's so much that we're gonna write. So fucking excited because we're approaching the hump. We are approaching the hump. We are actually at the part of this story where I'm actually most excited to write because it's just there's so many good and powerful moments are in this section. Oh my god, so many powerful moments. I should point out this entire outline is 68 pages, and there is 32,000 words outline. So it's gonna be a fucking massive book when it's fully written. Like, if I were to hazard a guess on how many pages, how many words it's gonna take, I would guess that the second book will be 120,000 words. And for reference, my first book was 91,000 words and about 419 pages. So it's fucking crazy. It's gonna be at least. I'm actually gonna Google something before I kind of wrap things up. What's her name? J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, word. Holy fucking shit! Yeah. So I don't remember those books being that long, but holy fuck. Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone, 76,000 words. Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets, 85,000 words. Harry Potter Prisoner, 1,000 words. Goblet of Fire, 190,000 words. Order of the Phoenix, 257,000 words. I don't even remember the Order of the Phoenix being that long. I thought that Deathly Hollows was much longer than the Order of the Phoenix, but Deathly Hollows is 198,000 words. Fuck. So maybe I shouldn't be too concerned about the word count. Wow, okay. Uh, let's go ahead and do a little wrap up thing. I think I'm ready to kind of call things off right now. If you are remotely interested in what the games I cover on my channel will be played for 1% completion. I'm going to be streaming Far Cry 4 for 1% completion on Fridays, 1 p.m. 5 Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be streaming Elder Scrolls Oblivion for 1% completion on Saturdays, 1 p.m. 5 Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be streaming, and I'm going to be streaming Saints Row 2 for 100% completion on Sundays, 1 p.m. 5 Pacific Standard Time. In addition to that, Tuesdays through Thursdays, I'm going to be hosting live streams focusing on my novel project. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be hosting a Writer's Workshop stream, 1 p.m. to 5 Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be working on my next book. On Wednesdays, I'm going to be hosting a Writer's Analysis stream where from 1 p.m. to an undetermined amount of time, I'm going to be analyzing some aspect of my recently published book, Dim Shadow of Spade. Oh, fuck, what was I going to work on? I analyze for next Wednesday, I forgot. Uh, Alright, bro, I was gonna analyze the eighth year, God's people. So that's what we're gonna be analyzing for next Wednesday is the faction of the eighth year. And I'm gonna be kind of going into some more. Much of the eighth year is gonna be kind of vague because a lot of their story is gonna be told in the third trilogy. Which is actually kind of more focused on God's people and the origins of heaven and the high agency, that kind of stuff. The second book of the third trilogy is literally going to be called Dim Origins. So yeah, a lot of the stuff is going to be very, very. It's going to be like very vague. Gonna be a lot of gaps that I have to avoid talking about. That's what we're going to be talking about in the future. That's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.